The International Newsnet World Report is a national television news show available in more than 30 million homes. We broadcast daily real news the networks won't tell you. We are solely viewer-supported. That means you. You can donate at our website, INNWorldReport.net. We hope you find the following interview informative and helpful.
Yesterday in Oakland, California, Superior Court Judge Winfred Y. Smith issued a tentative ruling that the Alameda County Register of Voters and Alameda County have engaged in a pattern of withholding relevant evidence and failure to preserve evidence necessary to conduct a recount of a hotly contested Berkeley ballot measure. As a result, the court has signaled its intention to void the election and order the county to place Measure R back on the ballot for a revote in the next general election. Alameda was the same county where it was found that Diebold, the electronic voting company that installed machines, had installed uncertified hardware and software in the county's voting system. Measure R, a citizens' initiative, would have regulated the operation of medical marijuana dispensaries in Berkeley. Election officials originally announced that the measure lost by fewer than 200 votes. To explain more, we're now joined by voting rights advocate Brad Friedman. Brad is the creator of the very popular voting website, the Brad Blog. Welcome to INN one more time, Brad.
Good to be here, Lenny. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm okay, too. I hope I didn't spill the beans. What is the latest news on this, and is there any updates?
Well, we have no update at this time. We're waiting for the judge's final word on it, but her statement last night, the tentative ruling, seemed pretty definitive and pretty extraordinary. They have been fighting this case up there in Alameda. It's actually in Berkeley. They've been fighting this case since 2004, trying to get a proper recount on this measure. And I'll tell you what, it underscores once again the dire shape that our electoral system is in. This race was run on these Diebold touchscreen systems, DRE, direct recording electronic systems. And when the county, after all the problems they had up there with them, got rid of the machines, they sent them back to Texas. And what this meant was that the data, the records, the audit logs from that election were completely destroyed. When the plaintiffs went down to Texas to try to get at that data, they found that 96% of it had been wiped out in subsequent elections, which, frankly, once again shows the incompatibility with democracy when you have these touchscreen voting systems. Look, if there's a contest like they had back in 2004, the machines themselves become evidence in that election. And, well, what do you do when you have to run subsequent elections thereafter? They can't be used. They went ahead and used them anyway. That wiped out all of the evidence, and now the judge has called for a revote, an unprecedented revote in this election.
Well, let's talk about that. Unprecedented. Well, this then becomes a precedent for challenging future elections.
If the election moves forward and the judge has ordered that in the next general election they should rerun this ballot measure, I would like to think it would become precedent and put folks on notice that if you're going to use these dangerous, disenfranchising DRE touchscreen voting systems, that, well, you better be prepared. If there is an election contest, you better be prepared for how you are going to retain that data, because it's evidence in a lawsuit. And I'm not sure there is a way to properly retain the evidence. Look, even if you copy off the data from those machines, you know, onto a CD or something, the machines themselves, their firmware, their hardware, and so forth, are suspect in such a lawsuit and need to be made available as evidence. You don't really have that problem if you're working with a paper ballot system, because really the only evidence in the case is, you know, are those stacks of paper ballots. That's yet another reason why using these touchscreen systems has just got to end once and for all.
Well, in this particular case, we found out that the machines, although they were sold to Alameda County, ended up back in Plano, Texas. How did that happen? I mean, this is like the machine I thought belonged to the county, and they were stored in a warehouse somewhere till the next election. with these new electronic machines, they can go back to the company that they bought them from?
Well, sure. I mean, there's a lot of leasing of these machines and horse trading between different counties and so forth. But in this case, back in 2004, it was discovered in no small part because of whistleblower Stephen Heller. Diebold had installed uncertified hardware and software on those voting systems that were used in that county. And when that was exposed, those machines became decertified. I believe that the county then moved on to a different voting system, since the Secretary of State of California had said, no, you can't use those machines anymore. And I guess they sold the machines back to Diebold, or gave them back to Diebold, who has a facility down in Texas. And that's where they were found, in a warehouse there with, as I say, 96% of the election data just completely wiped out. It was extraordinary that the county allowed this to happen, knowing that there was an ongoing contest, knowing that there was a lawsuit, knowing that there had been myriad complaints of machine malfunctions during that election, that they would, let this evidence go away and go out of their hands. Obviously, the judge was not happy about it. And, I'm hoping that this is a sign for voters to help them understand the dangers that our democracy faces when we use these touchscreen electronic voting systems.
Brad, one of the things that strikes me here is that this is all a product of privatizing one of the few things which should be actually the property of all the people. Is there any way of this ever being secure with the vote now being privatized, and certainly the maintenance of the software and the upkeep of these machines, and perhaps in this case the security and keeping of the voting records and firmware? How can this ever possibly be go back to being in public domain, and how can this ever be safe? Well,
I'll tell you what, you hit the nail on the head, Lenny. Privatizing our elections, running them with secret software that no one in the public ever gets to examine, should be an outrage to every citizen across the country. Now, we've just had, haven't even gotten to report this yet on bradblog.com, so you may be scooping me here, but we've just gotten some great news, for example, out of Riverside County, California, where the citizens out there have been, and I mention this because you say, what's the solution here? Well, the citizens out there in Riverside County, the first county in America to go to touchscreen voting systems, I believe it was back in '98, if I recall, they have been going week in, week out, showing up at the Board of Supervisors meeting where they, have 2 minutes for public comments, raising hell about these private companies, this secret software, to the point that the Board of Supervisors finally, tried to get them off their back and instituted a Blue Ribbon Commission to look into their complaints. Well, the Blue Ribbon Commission, what do you know, has come back with their findings now, and is recommending that the county get rid of the Sequoia touchscreen voting systems that they've been using there for years, and return to a paper ballot system as soon as possible. That happened only because the citizens down there were taking matters into their own hands. We're not counting on the media. We're not counting on the government officials, but, providing the oversight themselves, making noise, raising hell, sending letters to the editor, fostering relationships with folks in the media so that they could tell these stories and these outrages that were going on with their voting system. It's only going to change when people start paying attention to what's going on here and demand accountability. And, I'll throw in right now in Congress, now that you've finally got a Democratic House and Senate, in both houses they've got election reform bills, finally, that may actually see the light of day and may actually be voted on.
Well, Brad, you're about to scoop me here, Brad, because my next question was going to be, is there a light at the end?